What's going on, guys? It is now day 304 of Conqueror's development. And I know last time I said, I don't know when the next update will be. Probably when I start coding or when the research is done or what have you. I throw that all away. So, um, the reason that I was preventing myself or I wasn't starting the actual coding process was because I wasn't sure how to change my file location of the software where it's located in my drives from my C drive, my SSD, which is only like 500 gigabytes, to my D drive, which is a terabyte. So I was worried that if Conqueror becomes big, like not like world perception wise, but big in terms of file size, then I wouldn't be able to hold it in my C drive, and then I would have to like transfer it somehow to my D drive, which I haven't figured out yet, and that would be a whole mess that I just wouldn't be able to do. I don't know how I would have been able to do it in the future. But like with some research and literally a day later of like actually trying to do it, I figured it out. So I found out how to put the install location of when you start a project in React Native. I found out how to put that project in a specific folder that I want so that all the files associated with that folder automatically get put over there, not my C drive. I figured that part out and I started coding right there and I was like, all right, I have my first ever thing. All right, we could just continue on to research or I could start coding. So I started coding. I couldn't help it. This was like yesterday and 2 days ago. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. I got excited. So I started coding and coding and coding. Um, okay. So update. I set up my entire structure, my app structure. I have my navigation folders, I have my configuration folders, I have my screens, my components, and all that jazz. Um, I'm setting up the folder so everything is organized neatly. It's not like I actually made everything yet. I made some things. What I did make was my whole navigational structure. So the bottom tabs that associate, like that transfer you between screens, I have that. The welcoming screen, I kind of have that. You'll see that in a second. Um, and you'll see what I mean when I get there. But I have my navigation for the most part set and structured so that it's easiest for me to just continue on and add things and whatnot. Um, this is what I meant. This is exactly what I meant by it takes a long time of the learning curve when, especially like coding in general, but coding an app and this project specifically, everything I foretold this way back when the hard part is learning what I'm doing and learning how to do it. But once I know what the frick I'm doing, I go ham and I know exactly what I'm doing. As you'll see, I have a demo for you. It's not the beta. It's not anywhere near beta, but it's something to show like a proof of concept. So we have uh, the main page, Codename Conqueror. I just use a TSM logo just because I want to commission a graphic designer for a logo for Codename Conqueror, which I already have an idea. I already described that to you earlier. But for now, this is just a placeholder image. I thought it looked cool. Dark background, nice little insignia, cool. So we have the buttons, login, and continue as guest. Login, it says, you fool! There's no registration yet. So it's like, okay, cool. Um, so we're going to continue as guest. I'm going to try to hit the button so you guys can see it. Boom. Okay, this is the main screen of Conqueror. As you'll see, we have the major region, which is the United States, way up there, which we can change to like Canada, Japan, Australia, etc. We have the season, because when you get PR matters a lot. So if it's early 2019, if it's late 2020, etc., etc. Of course, not late 2020 because everything's Wi-Fi, but you get what I'm saying. I actually haven't figured out yet how to incorporate the Wi-Fi era of Smash Brothers or Wi-Fi at all, because that's a whole different ballgame, and I don't know how to incorporate that, but I'll figure that out later. Because it's not important to the app right now. Kind of, but not really. There's a PGRU, which is essentially just a tab that shows you the list of the PGRs, different versions of. It's just a nice little go-to to see like, oh, is he on PGR? Let me check real quick and boop, and see if he's on PR. And then the search bar, because everyone needs a search bar, so that if you can search a state, a player, a community, or what have you. That's the top bar of the home screen. Then when we have the bottom tab that navigates you through the entire page or the entire app, which is we have the brackets, the events. These haven't been edited at all. So as you can see, this one has been heavily edited. This is probably what it's going to look like in beta, if not release. Honestly, I love this look. And then just picture this as like a Google Maps. Imagine Google Maps here, but just a picture of the United States, and you can just scroll around the states and stuff. That's what it is. So The other tabs I haven't edited at all, so they're just like placeholders like account home, event home, but they're gonna look very similar to the other one. This one's just gonna be a list of events. We're gonna have a tab bar right here, like Smash UG does with the recent events that you visited, and account is just gonna be account information, notifications, and all that jazz. So this is my proof of concept. This is what it looks like right now, and this is in a day and a half. So figuring out how to code yesterday, or figuring it out, I the day after my last update was when yeah, the day after the last update was when I figured it out how to put stuff into the D drive. And once I had the files ready, had the navigation ready, everything was everything fell into place, and it's just started going from there. So yeah, that's Codename Conqueror coming on very nicely. Think if this continues like as easily as it is now, the beta's gonna happen pretty soon. Like, because what is it right now? Say I have the hard part right now. I'll let you know the hard part. What's going forward, of course. We always got to cover that. The hard part going forward right now is finding a map component. So right now we have a basic screen with a red hued white background, right? This isn't exactly white, it's like a light red to match the color scheme of the app. But I don't know how to find a component that allows me to take an image and pan and zoom as I wish, while also being able to press or click any of the individual parts of the image to take me to somewhere else, you know? Because I can select an image all I want and make that image a link. But how do I make one image with specific portions of the image as like complicated as a map to take me other screens or do different things? That's difficult. I don't know how to do that yet. So for now, Conqueror Home is going to be that for blankness until I can figure it out. And then that begs the question of, okay, if I do that, say I get an image component that I can manipulate like panning and zooming and all that jazz, and I can press specific portions of that image as a button or touchable component to take me to say another screen or what have you, or do a function that does something. Then there's still the idea of, okay, but I still need to get the image, which I still need to find like an image with a graphic designer like the logo that is compatible or like UI friendly with the app. So I'm not going to have a picture of a Google Maps map or a topographical map of the United States. No, I need like you ever seen the movie Bolt? In the movie there's a map of the it's like a custom map with the waffle locations. It's obviously not a map, it's just a regular map with the states outlined and then just insignias. That's all I want. So I need a graphic designer to make me an image of the United States with a red background, preferably, to match the UI. So there's a fly here. It's driving me insane. I already killed your friend! There's no reason for him to be here. There's actually on the webcam. That's hilarious. Um, so anyway, black outlines on the states, red states like the same color as the UI. The pale red background. State names, of course. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I really don't. That's why I feel like as soon as I was done with this, I was like, I'm done with Conqueror. Like, I'm done with the main the main part because I don't know how I can continue without a lot of research. So we're back into the learning phase. So in the meantime, I can do the data, the hardcore data part, where I can go into the seasons, the PGRU, the US region, and I could just start coding the pages of um, this state is this PR, these players, this player is this region, and all that jazz. So, and then once I have all those 50 plus pages of states and regions and players and whatnot, I can finally put it into the actual image, and then all I have to do is port in the data. That's not hard. Again, the only hard part right now, the data part is just tedious. Like, it's not even hard, it's just tedious. It'll take me like a day per state. It'll take me 50 days. That's if I'm like working on it every day, which I probably will. But then the hard part is the freaking image. I don't know how to do the panning and zooming. Anyway, I'm repeating myself. The events, actually, I'm looking forward to the most because it's going to be the most used part of probably the most used portion of the app because it's gonna be like a Smash UG but better, and it won't be terribly difficult to code, I don't think. The bracket portion, like the actual bracket, probably gonna be equally as difficult as the the map because it has to be an image that you have to pan and zoom and select specific parts of the image, and it's conditional because if you have a big bracket, it's gonna have to render a big bracket. If it's a small bracket, it's not gonna render the entire bracket. It's just gonna render a small one. And then the touchable, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So, but again, aside from the actual image part, the data, like displaying the image of the event, displaying the image name and location and the list of events, and you select the image and you can see seating, that's not hard. The hard part is the image. The hard part is the bracket itself. So yeah, and the account information, that will largely be for when I connect the app to the backend. So when I actually connect it to a server, which will be way down the line. But that's what this update is about. Is I got excited. App has been progressing amazingly. As you can see, this fly is annoying me. This fly makes me feel like I smell bad, even though I shower every day, like not a smasher would. Anyway, so I hope you guys are enjoying. I hope you guys enjoyed the little demo. I won't have the beta because I could just make this a beta and just send it out to people for like a proof of concept. But I want to have more content before doing that because I can't just be like, hey, here's a tenth of a beta, and a beta itself is 10% of the project. They could be like, oh well, like yeah, whatever. So I showed it to some people already. I showed pictures of the main screen, not the actual. I didn't send anyone like manipulative project, an actual like working project, just pictures of what it looks like. I've sent like 3 people, I think, 4, 3, including my family, because yeah, they were helping me with the color palette actually. So I figured out a color palette using my uncle, who is a UI designer. So that was nice, very very nice. Um, and he picked my color palette. He helped me pick it, which is anyway. I'm super digressing. So update video. Conqueror. Things are going very well. I finally stooped that learning curve, and I'm now just going on full on production and designing and coding and what have you. The hard parts in the future are the image components that I can manipulate. That's all I really want to focus on right now. Finding out how to manipulate the image and then just putting data into files and calling it. Because like history doesn't change. I don't need to make rankings dynamically change. I don't need a user input to change like rankings, because if somebody got PR in 2019, like South Carolina number 5 PR, that history is never gonna change. Then I can just hard code those. I can hard code those values. So that's the fun part. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time. I don't know when the next update will be. My last prediction was terrible because I did it like immediately. But my next update will probably be when I figure out the map component. I don't foresee another eventful day or something so a meaningful milestone that I can pass for it to be notable enough for me to make an update video on it. I thought this was pretty notable because we started coding in Conqueror. We have an actual proof of concept. This is the actual project. This is what all 300 days have been coming to. Yes. Anyway. See you guys later. Until next time.